All right, Mountaineer Nation. Football season's quickly approaching. NCAA football's out today. Big 12 media days in a few days, so football is definitely in the air. Special guest today, longtime friend Grant. Say what's up to the people, Grant.
Thanks for having me on today, Johnny.
Hey man, so let's get right into it. The backyard brawl, right? So got some disrespect today. Didn't make the top 25 rankings in rivalries according to Athletic. I'll pull it up. What are your thoughts on West Virginia and Pittsburgh being left off the list?
I mean, that's that's just absurd. The backyard brawl is one of the great all-time rivalries of college football, and I'm looking at this list here, and of course, most of these rivals are great rivalries, but to leave Pitt, West Virginia off the list for some of the rivalries like Iowa, Wisconsin, uh, Kansas, Missouri, it just that's kind of mind-boggling.
I think the problem is, I think West Virginia right now, the brand has definitely taken a hit over the last 6 years. We haven't been ranked since Will Greer was there. That was a long time ago. Life looked a lot different. There was no NIL, there was no portal. So I think right now, West Virginia has a big brand decrease right now. Do you feel that way when you walk around Jersey and walk around where you live?
Well, yeah, I definitely feel like in the last 5 or 6 years, West Virginia as a brand has taken a hit. Um, Kind of needs an identity, right? With the conference change, it's been hard for West Virginia to get back to their old self, and I think some people have forgotten about West Virginia, especially like in terms of this rivalry. I just now for the past couple years have been playing Pitt again, but I think that it's one of the great all-time rivalries, and hopefully with them getting it back and going, that people will get some recognition for West Virginia and for the big games.
Yeah, Beanie Bishop, former West Virginia All-American who plays for the Steelers, made news a couple weeks ago. He said they should move that game to rivalry week. So instead of playing it in September, it would just mean more if it was back on Thanksgiving weekend. What are your thoughts about them playing again on Thanksgiving weekend?
No, I think Beanie's got a great point with that. It loses some juice when you play the game that early in the year. You'd like for it to have some steam behind it, some build up, and then hopefully for the two programs to be on a winning path before they meet each other. Meeting up in September doesn't really tell you too much about it, and I don't know. It's something about when it's a little bit colder out there, the pads are hitting differently.
100%. I said it. I said this in a past video. Last year when West Virginia lost in week 3, they blew a like 11-point lead with like 5 minutes left. It was a terrible loss. The fans abandoned the team at that point. I think if it's a carrot at the end of the season where if you're playing your rival, no matter how your season went, if you have that rivalry to look forward to, it's just something that's important. So um, I think it should be on the list. And I think that again, what we're talking about, I think West Virginia has a brand crisis, and the only way to improve your brand is what, Grant?
Winning football.
Exactly, winning football. Like I think that's where we're at. I think until we have some signature wins again and prove ourselves, people are gonna feel that way about West Virginia. And let's keep it real with conference realignment and the shakiness of this right now. It's extremely important that West Virginia fixes their brand and wins some football games this year.
100%, I agree. It's crucial that they have a good year this year. It's been too long. I'd like to see them get back in the national spotlight and back in the thick of things.
I hope so with Rich Rodriguez, man. Because when we were kids, you remember Rich Rodriguez when we were kids, they had this thing rolling. We just missed the glory days at West Virginia. We were there at Dana, but when Rich Rodriguez was there, it was a different animal. So let's hope that he can get us at least close to that. Because if we get at least close to that, West Virginia football is going to be back.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think the Rich Rod era is what drew me and you in as young kids into
100%.
the university, and had us excited about West Virginia. So
I, I
hopefully they.
couldn't I couldn't imagine what it's like there now. Like, like with a Neil Brown, like, does it have does football season have the same vibe down there that it did when, like, even when we were there, Geno Tavon, and we were in the Big 12 for the first year, and we just came off an Orange Bowl. Like, does it have the same vibe? I
I
don't know.
do
I
I
think
do
if
wonder. I do
I
wonder.
think if we can win some games this year, we'll get there. But let's change the subject a little bit and let's talk about conference realignment a little bit. this made news this week, right? So so this was on Heartland College Sports. There was a poll out and it said, would you trade Cincinnati, West Virginia, and UCF to the ACC for SMU, Stanford, and Cal? I know how I feel about this, but I want to give you the first shot at it.
I mean, I think regionally it makes geographically it makes a lot of sense. I would like to see it. However, I don't know how realistic that is. Or
It's not. I don't think it's realistic at all. But
yeah, I mean, if we're speaking just hypothetically, then I love it. Sure, why not? Let's get some. Let's be more local. Let's not travel all these miles during the season.
I think that's part of the
Um,
issue, man. Because think about it. It's just frustrating. If we were in the ACC, like us living in New Jersey or anyone living in West Virginia, wherever you live, if you live on the East Coast, you could get in your car and drive to Virginia Tech. You could go to Virginia. You could go to Clemson. If West Virginia's on a run, it's hard to book a flight to Manhattan, Kansas. It's hard to book a flight to Iowa State. It's just different. So I think that's also part of the issue is that not having as many regional rivals on the schedule, the fan interest right there goes down because they don't care about playing. I don't know, Kansas State. Do you agree with that?
no, 100%. Us playing across the country, it loses it a little bit around here. Um, I would love for us to be playing schools that are within driving distance, and it would, like you said, give us fans a lot more opportunity to go support the university.
And it's hard because then we had to overschedule. For example, the last few years you had to open up the season against Penn State, Pittsburgh, and Maryland, and they botched all those games, and it was really hard to build momentum when you're starting 0-1. And you had to do it to give your fans regional rivalries, but then you overschedule where you should really just be scheduling one Power Four, one group of five, and then an FCS school. So they had to overschedule to get the rivalries in, and it kind of didn't go well for the Mountaineers the last few years with that. So I would love to make the change there, but it ain't gonna happen. Not to my knowledge anyway. Let's talk about something else. Let's switch gear. Let's talk about these helmets. Speaking of the old days and speaking of the good days, this dude, when I saw this, man, this put a smile on my face. What do you think?
Absolutely, I'm on board with it. If we're bringing Rich Rod back and we're going back, then we may as well bring the uniforms back too, right? Like,
In my opinion, I think they should just ditch the gold helmet now. I think we should just wear this helmet all the time. It's almost like for me, I think we over uniformed, if that makes sense, right? We have too much things going on. Just stick to what was simple. That was a clean look. That's a clean
yeah.
helmet.
Well, I
I
think
think
that I think that all of college football over uniformed. Everyone fell in love with the crazy Oregon style uniforms and the matte helmets, but like you said, I think let's just keep it simple. Old Mountaineer football. Those are the classics, and those are we won some football games in those. So let's bring them back.
Yep, absolutely, man. Let's finish off with here, man. So let's look at the schedule here, right? So a few weeks ago, my most popular video, it's almost at like 3,000 views. Speaking of that, reminder,
There we
if you
go.
haven't liked and subscribed yet, definitely subscribe to JerseyEER. We're gonna have more guests on throughout the year. We're gonna have more talks like this, so it's really growing. So definitely like and subscribe. Let's talk about the schedule though, man. And I think a lot of passive West Virginia fans who aren't that locked in, they just think the team's going to stink because we have 70 new players and they don't know much about the team, right? But if you look at this schedule, man, it sets up nicely. So you play Robert Morris, first game of the year. That place is going to be bumping. You have a tricky one at Ohio, which is a little bit of a trap game because you have Pitt the next week. You play Pitt, who lost 6 games in a row last year, but you get them at home. You play Kansas that missed a bowl game last year. You play Utah, who missed a bowl game last year, but they're a good program. And then you play BYU, who just lost their quarterback. You get UCF, who you've owned the last 2 years. I can make a lot of cases for a lot of wins on the schedule.
Obviously biased here, but I'm thinking that West Virginia could win 9 games.
I think right now, if you told me we could win 9 games in year one of Rich Rod, I'll even take 8, man. 8 wins first year at Rich Rod would be awesome. The only issue is that we have all these new players, and we're gonna have to do this all over again because most of them are seniors. So we recruited a lot of seniors, but I think, man, this schedule is gonna be fun. Is there any games looking at this that you're looking forward to?
I definitely want to go down and see Colorado play. I'm excited for that game. Obviously, Pitt. I want to see us avenge last year and get
Let's
a win
face it, man.
against.
That pick game is going to have so much implication for the season. Like
Right.
if Rich Fry, think about this, man. You go, you beat Robert Morris. You do what you have to against the Maxwell, even though it's on the road, even though they're good, you beat them. You beat Pitt, you start off the season 3-0 going into conference play. Like, we're going to start making some noise. Like, people will start believing in this team. The fans will show up again, you know? But
Yeah.
they gotta get it done. But this schedule, man, like the Big 12 is wide open. Like, if you look at the Big 12, last year Arizona State was picked last. Guess who won the conference? Arizona State. So the year before, West Virginia was picked last and we won 9 games. So like this schedule is doable, man. And like there's not like what powerhouse do you see on here? What team do you see is like, all right, that's an L.
No, it's for the taking. I think it's, whoever comes out and establishes themselves and gets some confidence early, like you said, will have a good chance at making a run at this thing. And I think West Virginia has good a chance as anybody. So I'm definitely excited, and I'm thinking that if they can set the tone early with a couple of big wins against Pitt and then a road conference win against Kansas, they're going to set themselves up for a great season.
That Kansas one should be fun because Trey Lathan, former West Virginia Mountaineer on the Kansas Jayhawks. So sometimes at the transfer portal, you'll see some guys that were on your team that are gone. But listen, man, it's gonna be a fun season. It's gonna be here before you know it. I appreciate you coming on, man. We'll have to do this again.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much. Let's go Mountaineers.
All right, let's go Mountaineers. Again, please like and subscribe. This was the JerseyEER podcast.
Hit that like and sub button.